just have to kind of be true to that and figure out how you can navigate the whole scenario and how you can get as many viewers and that like that kind of content. You shouldn't really try to be something that you're not or someone that you're not and to chase views or subscribers and all that. Like, you really have to kind of hone in on yourself, and the more I think you do that, anyone, not just you specifically, I think the better you'll be. And you know, not everyone will be MrBeast necessarily, you know, I mean, everyone kind of has their own path.
Welcome to Mississippi. We are at the Lawn and Landscape Society event here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we have quite the guests today. We have Cody Owen from Lightspeed Social Agency. We have Jason Creel from Sweet Home, Alabama Lawn Pros. Naylor Taliaferro.
You've been most frequent guest.
Most frequent guest. A lot more eloquent speaker than me, but he has been on the show the most out of all the guests, and then he loved co-hosting with me so much he started his own podcast, the LCR Media Podcast. We are glad to have you guys on the program.
Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Jason, I want you to start with the big news, man. Next February 23rd and 24th, you're resurrecting the Lawn Care Life Conference.
Yeah, I am, Paul. I've actually brought Paul in as a partner.
Consultant.
I don't really like partners, but I was happy to have you in. I think you add a lot of value to it. But yeah, we got some epic guests, including Rookie here is going to be one of the featured speakers, and of course me and Paul will be involved. We got Alan Hain, Lawn Care Nut, and we got this guy that I've known for a while, and you guys have met, Jeremy Vest. He's kind of a social media whiz. We got him coming, and we're working on one or two others, so we'll see how it goes.
And Cody, you're going to help us market this?
I have sent Jason some ideas. Paul and I were in the car the other day, and we called Jason, threw him up on speaker to tell him some quick thoughts. But yeah, I'm super excited.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. Did you get that website working yet, Jason, or how are we sitting?
It works, but it's got
I went to it and nothing. It was dead end.
I'm sure it works. It's just got probably my face on there and your face. Like, I'm trying to get a little more, a couple of faces on there. So it looks like I'm confident it's going to be great. I just want to make the actual page look great before
And what's the URL?
I don't know.
Cody, we need a lot of work.
The link will be in the description for sure.
I think description. My website's Lawn Care Life. I think there's no link to it right now.
I went to lawncarelife.com and clicked on the event, it took me to a dead end.
Okay, I think it's like Lawn Care Life /conference.
Okay,
that's my guess, but I'd have to look at it.
All right. But ticket sales are going to go on sale. This is the big announcement.
I mean, we're talking about a year away, Paul. Okay, so I'm in a hurry, but
it's going to be sold out. I mean, fire marshal's only going to let 300 people there.
Yeah, we can fit 300. I feel confident about that. We're going to incentivize people to sign up a little early because I've done these before, and it's pretty frustrating when people literally call you the morning of, so I'm coming, kind of thing. And it's like, so we got to get people to sign up a little bit earlier this year.
And we're going to do a Friday night and then all day Saturday?
Yeah, that's the plan. Friday night, all day Saturday. So I've tried it different way. I've tried 2 full days, 1 full day. So we're meeting in the middle this time.
Friday night pre-party?
What do y'all think about live music? Like, I have a very talented music guy who plays in big venues and all that. Not like sitting there staring at him play the whole time, but like him playing in the background while people are eating.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not a music person. I don't know.
What kind of music?
He's one of them guys that just plays everything. I mean, he did like a Led Zeppelin thing the other. I mean, but
I ain't into all that.
Well, I'm just saying, whatever you stick in front of him, he'd play anything. I mean, he's super talented.
For my benefit, can we have it be Led Zeppelin covers the whole night? I want to watch Paul suffer.
No, I don't.
I couldn't name one.
But I think song. Live music. Come on, food, live music.
Yeah, make it a party.
And for those who don't know, Jason's family owns a wedding venue. So that's a facility with multiple venues on the big old campus, and we're going to have basically where people get married is the big room that we'll have, but it is limited to 300 people so that Alabama fire marshal don't come and kick everyone out.
That's right. Part of the challenge is make it look like we're not having a wedding there. We're having a lawn care event. So with all these drapes and stuff, dainty looking. So
yeah, it's a beautiful facility. So I'm really honored that you asked me to help, and I'm glad Rookie's coming to be one of our speakers. And of course, we got the big fish, Alan Hain, coming, Jeremy, and you invited the almonds too, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from him, but I'm feeling strong about it.
Yeah. We got Naylor's got some pull with them too. So
I'm happy to be a part of it. I like being a part of as many things as I can. I just love being a part of the community events, being a part of them, hosting them, all the different variations of that, like being at this Kohler event. You know, it's exciting to be able to reconnect with a lot of folks. Sometimes you see a lot of familiar faces. Sometimes you meet new ones. A lot of times you meet new ones. So I think that's great why we keep doing these things, because there's something powerful when we get together as an industry at live events. There's a different kind of energy there, and it's hard to explain. You have to actually be here to experience it, really.
Can you guys, as lawn care business owners, speak to the value of like coming out to an event like this? If you're a guy who's been working in the field for 2 or 3 years, you've never been to a conference, and you kind of think like, you know, what could I possibly get out of that? What do you guys think?
Well, I think everyone that's listening to this kind of stuff, you know, whether you're watching YouTube videos, Instagram, and or listening to podcasts, the next evolution of that is to go to a live event, because everything that you're getting out of recorded content is going to be amplified like 10x in a live situation, because now you can talk to sometimes the people that you're consuming their content and or meet new people, and you get to ask questions live in the moment. You get to talk shop, and we're so like-minded in so many ways. It's like a big family, you know, like if you have siblings or best friends that you enjoy talking to and hanging out with, that's pretty much what it's like when you come to these live events. And you learn life skills and as well as more business stuff, and it's just the next iteration of content. It's just live, and you know, there's speakers at all these things usually, and panelists, and lots of Q&As, and then there's all the in between all of that, like behind the scenes stuff where people get to ask questions and talk and have dinner with folks, go maybe have a drink with folks. That's where you learn a lot of stuff that way, those more intimate one-on-one or smaller group conversations. What about you, Jason?
I was sitting there thinking, like, I guess I've been doing lawn care for a while, so I'm not necessarily going to learn a new tip. Like Mike Andes is speaking now. I'm sure he's saying a lot of great things, but like for me, and I don't even like psychology much, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of thought, you know what? I sort of do need a pep talk every once in a while. So it's more of the motivational stuff than like I learned a new tip that's just going to revolutionize everything. You might learn some of that, but you get a little burned out sometimes. You need somebody to prod you a little bit. So I think it helps in that way to me.
excellent. I come to every event that I possibly can. Iron sharpens iron, so I really enjoy coming to these. And out of all of them, I've told this publicly before, Kohler puts on the best one in regards to like, this venue is very, very nice. I felt like I was walking into a government building. It's very nice, and I think it is. It's really nice, this building, and dinner.
They just had a ZZ Top concert out back outside the other day, she was saying. So it's a really popular venue.
Who's
really
that?
Nice. ZZ Top. Oh, no.
I don't
Cody.
know.
Paul, I don't listen to anything. I know who they are.
Oh, man.
No clue.
Cody, please.
They've got the long beards.
They're
I'm
musicians.
from Houston, though, so.
Yeah.
But it's classic rock. Other Cody, do you know ZZ Top?
Nope.
Oh,
all
off-screen Cody does not know ZZ Top,
Yeah.
but he's also younger than us.
They've been around forever. They're just,
Okay.
they're really famous
Okay, I'm
musicians.
sending Paul a playlist after this. We should do a React video.
Yeah. Anyway, my point was a super extremely famous long-time
Extremely
music group.
famous. I have never heard of them.
That doesn't mean anything, Paul. Oh man, let's not go down these rabbit holes. They were here, so this is a really premier location.
Yeah, and so Kohler had this event like 4 years ago. I was here, and I was very impressed by the Stephanie and the team comes down, and Jamie, of course, and they just do an excellent job. The food last night was so delicious. Coach T, I ate way too much. I loaded up that plate, man.
I saw.
Oh, I loaded it up. It was absolutely delicious, and we're going to have another good meal tonight. So hotel's nice. I love the Kohler event. So
Yeah, it's still at that size where you can kind of know everyone at the event versus like you go to Equip and it's like,
Yeah.
there's tens of thousands of people here. So you get that opportunity, like Naylor was saying, for the Q&A. You know, people are going to be able to go talk to all of the speakers. They're going to come talk to you guys. I had some people come up to me at the hotel and be like, hey, I recognize your voice from the podcast.
Nice.
It's like that kind of event where it's still real small. You can know everyone. It's nice.
For sure. There's pros and cons to all of it, and I think they all have their place for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, let's just see if we can get your little mastermind here. We got Cody's got YouTube history, Naylor, myself. You got the biggest following out of all of us, but we got to get you out of the slump. What's going on?
I don't know. I think, like I was talking about going to events, sometimes you get a little burnout. You need some motivation. So I think I'm experiencing a little bit of that. And then, I mean, last year was my best year ever on YouTube. I've been doing it for 12 years. So it's not like it's terrible, but I compare where I'm at right now to where I was at last year. You know, analytics are showing it's trending downward a little bit, which is not good. But I look at it as I'm trying to do a lot of weed control videos because there's so many people doing the mowing and all that. So I'm like, let me do weed control. Well, in January in Alabama and February, for the most part, it's just like, what are you going to do? There's hardly any weeds. But it's just almost peak season for just weedy, nasty yards that look good on YouTube. But I don't want to just go out there and spray a yard. Now look here, they're dead. I still want to maintain technical aspect to it where I'm actually explaining how to do it. We'll see. I just did my first yard like that yesterday. Now, but the problem, it's going to take 2-3 weeks before I can go back and really see the results and stuff. So I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. But how the next few months goes will tell a lot of how the year's going to go, probably.
In hoping to maybe capture some of that motivation that you're looking for there, this is something I've been curious about for a long time. Why did you start on YouTube?
Well, I originally started because I had a friend who was a real estate agent, and he told me he got so many leads for real estate through the internet, and he was just talking about SEO and all this. He's like, do some videos, man, because this was a while back, so they didn't have to be good. And so I kept with the non-good videos for a long time, and it's still fine because nobody, I wasn't that many people doing videos. And as the competition increased, my quality had to increase at least to some degree. That's originally what I did. I was just trying to help my own local lawn business get more views. I didn't even know there was a monetization button for years, and I found that out, and it turned out I got like $2 or something. So
You've definitely evolved over that time, right? And now, you have had some help from other folks like Jeremy that have been doing a lot of these kind of things, and it's helped kind of propel you to another level, another phase, and you've been working your way over 100,000 subscribers. I mean, that doesn't just happen by accident. I mean, you've definitely put out a lot of videos. How many videos do you have? Can you guess?
It's over 1,000. I know that, but
a lot of videos.
I think I got kind of grandfathered in. That helped me a lot. Starting today would be very challenging, honestly. But I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just you gotta. It's like you gotta share knowledge, but you need the personality behind it and all that. I have a personality, but I'm not necessarily like, what I'm saying? Some of these guys are so out there that it's
over
just
the top.
Attracts people. So I have to drink an imaginary Red Bull to get me amped up enough to sound like I'm on video.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone definitely has their own niche, their own vibe, and you just have to kind of be true to that and figure out how you can navigate the whole scenario and how you can get as many viewers and that like that kind of content. You shouldn't really try to be someone that you're something that you're not, or someone that you're not, and to chase views or subscribers and all that. Like, you really have to kind of hone in on yourself. And the more I think you do that, anyone, not just you specifically, I think the better you'll be. And not everyone will be MrBeast necessarily. I mean, everyone kind of has their own path. And I remember a long time ago, some really wise people said, just make the video about whatever it is you really want to make it about, and the right people will somehow find it. Like the Google algorithms just find the right people. I mean, you remember, Paul, we did the Get to Know the Pro back in Atlanta, and that following, like that coming GIE, people were coming up to you that you didn't even know existed, and they were like, hey, I saw that Get to Know the Pro episode, that was really, and you're like, what in the heck? It was just crazy. It's like people that probably never even watch my videos or comment or whatever, and somehow they were just drawn to that video, your video. We talked a lot about faith and your story and all of that, and that connected with a lot of people. And that happened a lot with my Get to Know the Pro series. Like, it was just very unique to each person. Like, I didn't have a general theme other than going to someone's, location, like their shop or their house, their town, and hanging out with them for a day or two and showing their business, telling their story. And those always connected with the right people. Someone I interviewed about depression, someone I interviewed about substance abuse and alcoholism, and through recovery and lawn care saved their life, literally, is what they said on camera. And like, a whole bunch of people commented like, I struggle with the same thing. And this is very interesting, the phenomenon of if you make content that you feel good about, you would enjoy watching it, you're passionate about whatever that message or story is, the right people will find it. It might not be 100 and something million people that find it, but the right people will find it, depending on who knows how many people. But I think you got to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, I think I honestly got away from that for a little bit, and that hurt me. But I think I like Paul talks about this to some degree, and I think we all do to some degree. But Paul, I think you do a good job of like serving other people. I'm not saying you don't have a plan and a strategy and you're trying to grow and all that, but if you put the consumer first in a way, I do think it translates to genuineness to the audience, and it ultimately benefits everybody more. So yeah, I think I'm trying to do more of that, to put the consumer first and then be genuine to who I am. Even if that means it gets less views or whatever, I think it'll be something I'll enjoy doing more. Do fakes. I'm not saying I've been fake, but if you get outside of what you're comfortable with, you're probably more likely to get burnt out and not enjoy it as much. So
I think that's how a lot of quote unquote YouTubers, above and beyond just our lawn and landscape, community, they get burned out because they're chasing the views constantly, and it becomes very exhausting to constantly try to find the next big trendy thing or the next vlog, especially if you're doing it every day. Like, you get burned out because it's just like constant content, and versus just kind of, obviously you don't want to put out stuff that you want people to view your stuff, of course, but you have to kind of navigate both. Back to what I was saying, like burnout definitely is people that are just chasing the wrong thing or trying to be something they're not, or to your point, Jason, and it can wear you down for sure. I've been through that over time as well, and take little breaks and stuff and go back into it, and that's probably one of the many reasons why my channel is not at 100,000 subscribers, but that was never my goal either. I just wanted to be a part of the community and connect and create content because I enjoy creating content, and I enjoy telling stories. I enjoy sharing other people's stories, product reviews, like all that stuff is fun for me. Coming to events like this, that's all fun for me. So to me, YouTube is just another avenue to satisfy that creative need inside me, and then also participate in the community and maybe even help it grow along the way.
I was thinking too, when you like on the podcasts and stuff, you guys, I heard one people on, maybe it's Paul's podcast, they're talking about they love when it's more of a natural conversation and they can tell y'all are having fun talking to each other kind of thing. Well, I think the same thing with YouTube. So I was, tomorrow maybe we get to ride some equipment and trying to make it fun. We might race lawnmowers or something that's actually enjoyable instead of sitting there and talking about the tire pressure on the left.
Right.
It's like,
right.
oh, man, nobody cares about that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we just got to get back to like, hey, if we make it fun on YouTube, on podcast, then people enjoy that more.
It was Mike Pletz who gave me that feedback. He's a podcast host of the How to Hardscape. And he's like, my favorite episodes as a listener is when I have Naylor or Jeremiah on, because it's natural. We laugh
and we
laugh.
off.
It's just pretty much the same conversations we're having at breakfast, lunch, dinner, on the phone, in the hotel rooms. The bedtime stories. Well, let's clarify.
Recapping at night, the end of the day.
Oh man,
That's a much manlier way to phrase it.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's an inside joke, but those are real. Off air, and then we just bring it on air, because after the first 5 minutes you forget you have the headsets on and you're just yourself, and the listeners, they enjoy that. And then sometimes I'll interview like a company or something, and it's like they'll send me a list of questions before, like ask these 7 questions, and it's so dry because it's like it's too manufactured, and so as the host I like to just kind of have no script and just chat. Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
If you guys say something. I mean, sometimes if it gets dry, dead, I kind of pivot it a little bit. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens no matter what, especially the more we talk, and sometimes we're like, all right, what do we talk about now? But when we're at events like this, there's usually conversation to be sparked up. Sometimes, like you're saying, gets a little disconnect, like with certain people, or like if you're meeting them for the first time.
The other thing I think it is,
structure.
Jason, when I interview people, they try to impress me or like show off. And like, I know Naylor's like life, and I know your life, and I've been to your house. I haven't been to your house yet, Cody, but I know
Come
you
on to
guys.
Dallas.
Yeah, so I actually may be coming out there. I'll keep you posted.
Let me know, yeah.
I'm a shrewd negotiator. Company Cam invited me to come speak at their event.
Oh, cool.
So
I have a client that uses Company Cam.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't have Mike McCallowitz rate, but I was like, hey,
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I feel like sometimes guests get on and they're like, oh, we did X million last year. And they try to like sound really smart. And
becomes
like
a competition. There's a
that's why I
disconnect.
like inviting you, because you know my junk, I know your junk. We're
Keeping it real.
Yeah, we're not trying to impress each other.
Or the listeners.
Right,
We're just
yeah,
trying to share.
exactly.
We're just trying to share information and have a good time. Yeah.
So
No, I hear you.
that was a good point, Jason.
What was it?
You had mentioned that you thought you had heard someone talk about they when I interview people that I know, and the authenticity of those are much better content in the context of you know, maybe getting away from that with your YouTube channel and getting back to that real authentic serving the viewer and just being Jason Creel, because you're an original. And actually I was listening to a podcast about all the plagiarism that's happening online. There's a guy named Ryan Trahan who made a viral video. He's like, I'm going to go to the cheapest restaurant in my city. And he made a short of his experience and it went viral. Somebody took line by line, said the exact same thing. I'm going to go to the cheapest restaurant in my city. Like literally, if you look at the transcript of the two videos, he said the exact same thing, made his own video, and the second guy's video got more views than Ryan Trahan's. Ryan Trahan has like 2 or 3 million subscribers, but a guy with 15 million copied it, plagiarized it. And like they were saying, you were created to be an original, don't die a copy. And like Ryan Trahan's video is real. Like his idea, he made it, and then the other guy copied it. And it's like, I think as content creators, we have to be original. And once we start, I think it's okay to, if you notice a trend in one way or the other, to put your original spin on that. But once you try to be a copycat, you've lost God's originality of how he created you perfect, Jason. Like you got your unique, quirky personality, and Cody and Naylor, we're all totally different. If I try to act like Cody,
he'd be a lot cooler.
Yeah, I would. But I wouldn't be me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
I'm just teasing. I think Paul's cool.
No, Cody came and spent the night, did your business training course, and like I learned all
Available
about
now.
you. Yeah, available now. But I'm like, what are you doing, Cody? I'm ready to bed. He's like, I don't play video games, man. Like I didn't even know you're a gamer. He had like his whole system.
I need to get one of y'all on. So I did a video for Lightspeed Social Agency, my YouTube channel, playing lawn mowing simulator, and I want to get one of y'all on to like live react and critique me while I try to mow. It's a very, very fun game. I can see how like you could get sucked into it. Just there's something meditative about just back and forth mowing a lawn, and you don't have to be outside. I don't have to sweat. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, wow. That's talk about a cheat code right there, man. Jeez, like, oh, I'm cutting the grass, but not really. I'm virtually cutting the grass.
Well, I
Naylor
think
spoke
that's
first, so he's coming on.
I think that's why the tall grass videos are so popular on YouTube, because these women are watching them and they're feeling, or anyone's watching, but they're feeling like they're accomplishing something by watching it. I was hanging out with the lawn care juggernaut, and he was explaining this stuff to me.
Dude, yeah, it's the same thing with those like rug cleaning videos on TikTok, or like a
Cleaning,
time lapse of weeds dying. It's just like deeply satisfying to watch something happen quicker than it should.
That's another great point there, Jason. You need to, I think weeds is your thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, we've talked about that off air with Jeremy and everything, and I think that's your niche that you have to really
Be right back.
He's intentionally awkward. I think he's intentional, and part of it is, who he is, I guess.
Yeah, right.
For better or for worse.
But like that I don't know if you thought about that, like having time lapse of weeds dying or something. That'd be pretty fun and epic.
Yeah.
Like that could be like a short, like, so I've really started to incorporate a lot of these different mentalities. A lot of people have been talking about MrBeast a lot lately because he's just really blowing up and he's just doing a lot of great things in a lot of ways. And just if you just think about from a YouTube perspective, he's really honed it in, Obviously, he's the #1 YouTuber literally right now. He's got the most subscribers.
Raised by the algorithm.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like from doing nonsense, just throwing stuff up against a wall, to see what works, to now becoming literally a master in the trade. So there's a lot of inspiration and things that you can learn and pick up from listening to him talk on podcasts, different interviews, studying his videos, all of his recent videos, things like that. But looking at his shorts, like just seeing how he addresses every single thing, his Instagram reels, like just how he wraps his mind around everything really helped me start to figure out how I can kind of incorporate some of those mindsets for my own personality and my own content. And there's different mentalities for long form versus short vertical form, things like that. So like time lapses of like weeds dying would be a great YouTube short and Instagram reel, because it's, 60 seconds or less, or 30 seconds or less probably. Just, it just starts off with this nasty pile of weeds and just all wilts down, and then it just looks amazing, or you come through and you whack a big pile of weeds. You can make all kinds of funny jokes like, this is how I kill weeds.
Yeah.
And it's just gone, like 15 seconds, bam, that, you'll get thousands and thousands of views that way, I feel like. So if you lean into that kind of stuff, and then you can have also more educational, like I was hoping that maybe we could find some sort of pile of weeds somewhere down here in Mississippi, and maybe just like stop and shoot some quick content. Obviously, we're not going to be trimming it or cutting it, but we could just like get into it and be like, there's probably 50 different types of weeds here, Jason. What would you do with this?
So they spent on this venue. They spent all their money on the building and not on their landscaping, because the venue outside is a great venue. I'm not saying, but they don't.
The landscaping.
They don't do a lot on their weeds, I would say.
Yeah, a lot of these conferences, that's funny. They probably don't realize when they have a lawn care landscaping conference that there's going to be a lot of critiquing as we're walking through the door, like, what's up with this and that? And that, someone didn't think this through and all that. But that would just be some fun content, time lapses, talking about, just real quick, short to the point, and then, long format too. But things like, these situations, these conferences, it's probably a lot easier to get short content. Short vertical content is like the new lingo, and that is the new trend. So it's perfect, timing, because a lot of times it's very cumbersome to try and put together long form videos in these environments, because it's like, it goes back to your tire pressure thing. It's like, who's going to want to watch a video about someone speaking about this or that? It's like, so you try and like make it flashy and clips and B-roll and music and try and spice it up. But it's like, ultimately, what message am I even trying to send in this video? And it's almost harder to get that creative in a longer format video, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes. It's still not 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds or less, you can really just kind of capture someone's attention. Like, what the heck was that? And then they'd watch it again, then you get over 100%, views. Jeremy tells us about that, or watch time, and that's what's going to keep spiking the algorithm and keep pumping the shorts out. So, we're giving some real inside baseball here on this podcast, giving some tips for people that want to do that stuff. But I think there's a lot of opportunity. Just what Cody said about the weeds got me really reminded me of that. I want to talk to you about that, Jason, too, because I think there's a lot of opportunity, and that might help get you kind of more excited about it too. Like making just 60 to 30 second clips. That kind of just makes it more fun and energetic than trying to like piece together a video that maybe makes sense to you and gets views. So that might help kind of get you going again. So
I had a thought for you guys, but I don't podcast, so I don't understand how all the statistics or downloads and all that work. But I was just curious, as we talk about this, do you think, which I don't care, but do you think that people are interested in like how you guys make content and things like that, or would you get more views if we talked about lawn care and equipment and stuff?
You mean on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, is this podcast going to do terrible because we're talking about YouTube stuff? And would it be better if we were? It doesn't matter to me. It's Paul's podcast.
Right.
He started the conversation.
Yeah.
So
the analytics on podcasts are way different than YouTube. Like retention, they're just starting to be able to track retention for listens. The way an RSS feed works, this is going to be real exciting for people. The way an RSS feed works is that there's like a list of files, basically. And so most podcast apps just automatically grab your subscriptions and download the whole file. And so then if that app does not report back, hey, they listened to 80%, they listened to 1%, the download counts.
Okay.
And so back in the day, you would have people like getting uncapped CPM deals from sponsors. And you could like really goose it by just releasing a random episode, and everybody automatically downloads it, and you get paid based on that.
Wow.
Because there just was no, YouTube built out really, really good analytics, and podcasts are playing catch up.
Yeah.
Despite existing a lot longer.
Right. Yeah, so I think to your point, Jason, I think it's more of just like a mix. Paul's got a huge audience for one thing, but I think there's a mix of people that want to listen to that, and then maybe just looking more for the business stuff. But I feel like when everything I say, I try to make it so that it's relevant to anyone and everyone for their business, their life, or if they're curious about, podcasting or YouTube, maybe they want to get into it, or they're just curious. Sometimes people just ask us how we have time for this, because they want to figure out they have a hard time managing their life and their business, and then we add a third thing of social media. And so sometimes us explaining those things, even though it seems like YouTube talk, might help them figure some things out. Like, well, this is how I strategize or prioritize my day or my week, or I block off this or that, or those things can help people with all types of stuff. So,
and there's like a bare minimum amount of content creation that you have to do if you're going to own a local service business. Whether
Right.
you have to hire someone to do it or you're going to do it yourself. Like, I think it's helpful to know like what direction you should go.
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of a little mix. If we get too far in the weeds with it, I'm sure some people might be like, what in the world? Like, I don't care about all this YouTube
the last
algorithm
remaining
stuff.
5 people left when I said, how an RSS feed works.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen those letters. I don't know what they mean, but
Ooh, I do not remember.
How you doing, Paul? You feeling better?
A lot better.
Okay. Take it from here.
Yeah, well, we're in real time. We're getting ready for the spring rush. I know that has a different meaning for each of you. Cody as a marketer, Jason as was it called Poano?
no.
Poana?
Poana. How do you pronounce it?
We just say POA because it is
Poa.
hard to say, but there's POA trivialis and POA annua. We don't have POA,
How do you spell
POA
the-
triv in our area.
How do
We
you
have
spell Poa?
It's 2 words, POA and then ANNUA, POA annua.
Poa annua.
But you just say POA because
But that's the weed in Atlanta that the grass is still dormant, and that weed goes crazy and it looks horrible.
yeah,
in
you
Atlanta.
see somebody in Atlanta now that has a green lawn. It's probably because they got a lawn full of POA. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for rookies out there flinging mulch, cutting grass. So anyway, spring rush. How do you guys got several of these under your belt? It's the greatest time of the year for making money, earning money. What have you learned over the years to make the most of this and to maintain your marriage and things of that nature in the spring rush? And family, kids.
You want me to answer?
I want all of you to answer.
Okay. All right, I'll answer because this may sound counterproductive. I don't know, but I have purposely downsized my business over the past few years. So I'm basically 50% with my local business, 50%, social media and that sort of thing. I am trying to continue to grow my business, but in a very small, targeted way. I've used this example with Paul before, with Alabama football. They're not trying to revamp the whole roster. Okay, we're one player away from beating Georgia, so it's we just need a couple more pieces here. Not I'm going to just triple my business this year. So I'm just adding a few pieces in neighborhoods I'm already established in and to slightly increase my profitability without. Of course, that's me being a solo person, not trying to grow huge or anything. On the social media, I had to balance the time there. But honestly, lately I've been thinking, okay, this goes back to what I was talking about with YouTube. Me and my son have a ping pong channel. I got 1 view yesterday. But part of the problem is we got 1 view is because we hadn't been playing ping pong for the last 2 months, This is so embarrassing. But Paul beat me in ping pong in 1 game, I think. It was so bad. But
Beating was an understatement. I think I gave you a point at the end, a sympathy. It was about to be 11-0.
no, Paul, I don't think that was true. But anyway,
No. It's my handle, my racket. This isn't the handle I'm used to. That was his excuse.
we probably
His
have 12
racket.
paddles now, Paul. We got 6 new paddles for
So
Christmas.
apparently
new
the
net.
reason I blew him out is because his paddle, his handle of his paddle
You're
wasn't
showing that you
fitting his
don't know
hand.
anything about ping pong because you
I
think
beat you 11-0.
because you think the paddle doesn't matter. The paddle makes all the difference.
I
That's
came
how
in
you
off.
put the spin. What do you?
I came in out of Atlanta and just grabbed a random paddle and beat you, and you're
grabbed
sitting
the
there
good one.
complaining about
Of
you need a
course,
paddle.
an average player, it doesn't matter what paddle you use. An advanced level player needs their own paddle.
That is an
man.
excuse of why I beat him. He didn't have the right
I'm
paddle.
just
roommate.
saying, I'm just saying. I think I probably had to get some evaluation.
The trauma of it
So-
was his poor son's up there watching his dad get his rear end whooped in ping pong.
I'm gonna bring up the par 3 driving range, and Paul accused me of cheating because of my golf. Paul's a big golfer, and we got there and hit golf. I was like, well, I beat him pretty bad, and he accused me of stepping it off wrong.
He
Anyway.
didn't use a tape measure. He's using his foot. And he's like, "Look, I beat you." I'm like,
And my foot's
It
the
looks
same
like
size, Paul. I didn't change. What's
"Your
it,
angle. We need a tape measure."
Ankle. The two of you, you're exactly the same. You're over here with your excuses.
Do y'all
It's
need
the
to go
wrong
to couples
angle.
counseling?
I'm just mad that
I don't know
didn't.
what the the playing field is about to be leveled because I guess there's a basketball hoop somewhere, and Jeremiah and Paul are about to get after it because I guess Jeremiah brought a basketball. And
Yeah,
I guess Jason
I
can get on
play
that too,
basketball.
right?
Yeah, oh, I can play
I saw you
basketball.
dropping buckets on some Instagram reels.
Take
in the summer.
25. You didn't see the 24 videos.
Of course not. Of course not.
Paul had some audio clip about Kobe Bryant or something hitting a shot or on our test or so, I don't know, and he wanted me to line up my shot with his audio clip, and so that was what that was all about. But I'm just sad that I've only beat Paul in 50% of our competitions when it should have been an easy 100%. But this year I want to do weed eater races, okay, or
there you
whatever.
go.
I mean, something that
something fun,
just
spice it up.
yeah. I mean, so we'll see. But I was saying, so yesterday, like I could do lawn care all the time. I could work 365 days a year. I mean, even in Alabama, the weed control and fertilization is, people's like, so you quit in October and start making money? Like, no, it's year round. Like these big companies, they never stop. So I mean, I could work every day if I wanted to and get more customers. But I'm saying for me, I thought I hadn't played YouTube channel for ping pong. We hadn't posted a video in 2 months. So I posted a video. I slammed it on my son, which people always owe me about that. I'm like, he's actually pretty good. I mean, like, he's gotten pretty good. So I'm like, anyway, I tell them they leave that as a comment. I'd slam it on you too, if you come on over. So point being, I've got to make my children and family a priority and try to keep that, because I think sometimes if you've got the entrepreneurial spirit, which I'm assuming we all have, it's not normal for people in society to have that. We're definitely in the minority as far as that goes. So most people work their normal hours and they go home and all that. So when you're like, well, I can make another video, or I could try to do some more of this or whatever, and it all pays money, and you can pretty much justify, like, well, I'm working, I'm trying to make more money for our family, but the trap,
my family I never interact with.
Yeah, the trap for me is like, I mean, they don't just need a money, they need a dad, kind of thing. So I'm really having to work on that. Not that I neglect them, but even when I'm home, maybe I can just take time out of the day that's set aside, just like I wouldn't like miss work. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do my work. Of course I'm going to do my work, but I need to make sure I'm taking the other stuff as much of a priority as that, So that's honestly my big goal, because financially things are going well, better than probably ever. I'm not rich or anything, but I mean, but you can always justify, well, I'll work a little bit more and make a little bit more money, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that, honestly, I honestly thought about it. I don't do like quotes and stuff. I know I'm taking a long answer, but I thought about putting some quotes up in my workshop, and one of them being, that's something I thought of yesterday, but like, making money is not the most important thing to do today. Now it's important, but I'm saying, like, I've got that in me already. I'm very driven. So I almost need to be reminded of the other side of that.
So how do you find that contentment? Because we as entrepreneurs, and everyone listening and watching is probably an entrepreneur, and you can always do that next thing to grow or start something. So how do you know when to hang out with your children or wife, or be content and not to dial that back a little bit?
The 8 to 5 kind of lifestyle, I remember in high school thinking, does everybody have to work 8 to 5 and make just enough money to pay their bills? Because that seemed like what everybody does. Like, they work 40 hours a week, and how much, if they make a lot, they spend it all. If they make a little, they spend it all. I was like, there's got to be a better way. I mean, come on. So I was like, what if I can get more done in 20 hours than you can afford? So I mean, I think I really have to like structure it in a sense of, and what's good about that, if I say, hey, I've got, what's that guy? I forget the name. Is it Parkinson's Law or something like that? But basically, like,
Pareto.
Let me tell you, and you tell me if I'm right or not. But it's one of these. As you may be right, I don't know. It's like, if I had 6 hours to get a task done, I would take all 6 hours.
Yeah.
If I had
You'd
8
wait till
hours,
the last minute to get it all done.
If I had 8 hours to do it, I would take all 8. And I find that so
Right.
true. Even in me, I try to fight against it, but I'm like, you know what? I pretty much know my yards, and if I've got 20 yards to spray today, I'm like, kids don't have gymnastics or soccer tonight, so I'm kind of, taking my time, and I'll finish it. Yeah, but if I got to be somewhere at 3 o'clock, I'll probably, I'll get them. They'll be done by 3. I mean, I'm hustling and moving, or it's about to rain or something. So I have to. So what I'm saying is, I think if I said, hey, I'm doing yards today from 8:30 to to 3, I think I would get plenty of yards done to finish my route or need. I mean, it wouldn't even be a concern. But if I don't kind of set I hate schedules, but then if I said from 3 to 4, I'm spending time with my family. And that may look like, I got 4 kids. So, I mean, it may be like once a week, one day a week, I'm going to spend an hour dedicated time with, I'm not spending an hour a day with each of them. That is a lot, but I'm going to make a priority to at least once a week have dedicated time with each one,